All right, we are live. Hello and welcome to the Business Octopus live stream. I am Avon Collis from Relevate, and I am a CRM and marketing automation specialist. So, welcome. And today, we discuss things every week, every Friday in the morning. Now, typically the time is about 8:30. I did start this one earlier, 8:15. However, next week is going to be at 8:30. And we talk about all things sales, marketing, and technology. And today's discussion is around how to become a cloud consultant. So, if you are looking to work in, I guess, the software services industry, so first of all, I guess we should say, what is a cloud consultant? A cloud consultant is someone who is implementing solutions for customers. You don't necessarily own the software. You don't necessarily provide the licenses and that sort of thing, but you qualify on a platform, or you even provide some consulting around business process, business services, and then you basically design a solution to fit the customer need, and then train them, guide them on how to do it, and hopefully make the project successful, and then support it after the fact. So there's software companies generally, build their platforms, they build CRM systems, they build marketing platforms, they build ERPs, which is a financial system, and then they don't have the human capital to be able to support that program being rolled out in a number of companies. The other thing that software companies do is they use a partner network to help sell, because usually these solutions are quite complex. They take a lot of time to understand and to learn. And if they would hire everybody, basically that would take a very long time and be very expensive and slow way to grow their business. And so they rely on a partner network, because usually someone who would partner on a platform would have some relationships already. They're already connected into local accounting firms and to small businesses, medium and large in business and enterprise. They've already got networks and connections. And so the ecosystem is designed so that you've got these people with these industry expertise, these niche relationships, these unique skill sets and experiences. Maybe they've already worked in a similar company, or they've worked in that company in the past, and now they're out as a consulting employee or former employee that's now running their own consulting business. But effectively, a cloud consultant or the cloud consultant ecosystem is where the software companies are finding these people to be able to create their own businesses and support and add additional services. And they're basically providing resources. Sometimes that's in the case of what's called MDF funds, or market development funds. And then sometimes it's just training materials, or they're providing commissions. Now, if you want to become a cloud consultant, don't rely on commissions as your sole source of income, because it's just not enough. You want to sell your expertise, your experience, and you want to help guide people into making the right software solution decisions. And then you want to create a whole range of, I guess, customer interactions, training materials, and you're building a market. Like the consultant is building a market to then help support and sell the software. So cloud consultants are very important in the business ecosystem, because sometimes, like if the software company comes in and tells the client, our solution, magical solution, is the best, it's going to answer all of your questions and make all your wildest dreams come true. That's simply not true. So I think what we need to do is try to create an environment where you've got some consultants that are independent. They can, look at the solution, and maybe they're experienced on a few platforms in a similar niche or industry. And that helps them to say, well, this works, but here are the gaps, and this is where we can create a solution to solve the business challenge. And ideally, the consulting partners, or the cloud consultant, is someone who can help identify and solve the problems or the gaps, because the software company, they can only sell their own software. They're not going to allow their employees to say, our software does not do this. You need to look for a solution there. So the cloud consultants fill a very important gap. Now, this is not a new thing. Most major accounting firms, like the big four, all have some digital arm. So Deloitte Digital, KPMG have an area within their business. I don't think they call it a separate business, but nonetheless, they've all got a little bucket of resources of people who go out and give strategic direction and make solution recommendations on platforms, and then have project delivery teams that go and implement these solutions. So whether you're a sole operator or whether you want to be a sole operator, all the way through to a major corporate, then there's a whole ecosystem. And to be honest, there's so much work in this space, it's ridiculous. Like, every platform is really complex. It takes a long time to learn, to certify, to be able to find a market to sell it. So no one person can do it all. There is tons of software on the market, and there is tons of demand and need. So you're almost always going to have some work, but it's not always easy to find, because now your customer is evaluating multiple platforms and they're trying to find the right answer to solve their business challenge. So how I guess I want to tell you now a little bit of a story about how I sort of fell into cloud consulting. So I ran a business, and I remember working 12-hour days, 7 days a week. And, there was one point where I was like 30 days onto the calendar and I'd not had a single day off. And then the one day that I did get a day off, I got a phone call at 5 a.m. Hey, something's broken. You need to come in. And so I found that caused a problem in being able to get sleep and rest. And I was just getting work to the bone. So I decided to try and find a way to reduce the amount of problems that I had. So I looked for software solutions, I looked for systems, I looked for processes, I looked to automate. And it turned out that I ended up with about, a handful of solutions, but it ended up solving a lot of my challenges. So that time when I had the issue at the work, I went in and I filmed all of the possible problems that could happen with this machine. And the next time it happened, I sent them a link to the video. I put it on YouTube, actually. I sent them a link to the video. And the next time it happened, they watched that video, and that solved the issue. Excuse me. So in the first instance, I had a problem and I recorded a video on how to fix it. And then the next time that problem occurred, and again, like 5 a.m. problem, they said, hey, I can't solve this issue. So I sent them the link to the video. But the problem with that was I had to actually get up and then send the link. But that wasn't good enough for me. So then I decided to implement a knowledge base, a searchable database of information that the customer could log in. They could go and grab that link for themselves without having to call me to get that link. And that kind of sparked, I guess, a whole series of things where I went from just that, and then I started making knowledge articles on other things like the banking process, ordering stock, all of those processes, and that started to give me more and more time back in my day. And I thought, wow, this is awesome. Then I went further and I started to do like task management systems so that I knew the team were doing what they were supposed to when they were supposed to be doing it, whether I was there or not. And I was getting notifications that things were happening. It was working really well. Then after that, I decided that there were some other bits that I could automate. And then I ended up having like a facial recognition scanner. So the staff come in, they get their roster on a text, they walk in, they scan in. There's no risk of buddy punching or someone writing in their timesheets for them even when they're not there, or someone saying that they were there at 9 o'clock, but they were really there at 9:30. And so a lot of those things, not only did it have the automation data capture, putting it in the system and saving me time and money, but it also created better relationships with the staff, because there was no animosity of, are you, reporting your hours correctly, or are you ripping me off? And then that meant that there was no risk of that, or even if they weren't doing that, there was no fear that they were going to, put the incorrect time in for their payroll. So I decided that was going to be a thing that I could provide as a service to other people. So putting these systems in dramatically saved the amount of time that I had in a day. So I was able to save, 5 minutes at first, then, 20 minutes, then an hour. Next thing you know, I saved 40 hours a month in administration, in answering questions internally, in helping people to find out and figure out how to do that thing, or even just monitoring my team, just knowing what they're doing when, and understanding that they are doing work that they're supposed to be doing it when they're supposed to be doing it. Because sometimes there is a task or a function that needs to occur at a set time. Otherwise, you miss the boat and then you can't, it knocks you out for a week or 2 weeks or something like that. So if it's a critical task, you want to know that that's going to get done. So task management systems were amazing for that. The problem I found was when starting out as a cloud consultant, I knew all of these things and I'd experienced it and I'd saved tons of time, tons of money, and opened up new opportunities. I'd walk into other businesses and I'd say, hey, I can help you do X. And then they'd go, so what? So helping them to do X, save money, get more efficient, that wasn't really interesting to them because, that they kind of saw it as an insult. They kind of found that, or they kind of thought that, I've got this sorted. Why do I need to listen to you? Just like I literally went door knocking, went door to door and tried to find people who ran businesses. And I said, hey, I can help you be more efficient. Some people saw what I did and they said, I want that. They were more like the close customers. And, you should always try to sell to 3 people. First one is whatever. Second time is a coincidence. The third time is a trend. You effectively have a business. So in the first instance, I sold to a couple of people, as in I provided some consulting. I helped them set up the task management systems. I helped them set up knowledge management systems. And they were like, yep, I love it. This is awesome. But then when I tried to proactively sell to new people that I didn't know, I would just get a closed door. And it was really, really difficult to explain the value of what I was trying to sell them. But then I got into CRM, which is more like sales and marketing related. So, what's better than saying I can help you save money is you walk in and you say, I can help you get more sales and leads in your business. And of course, the response changed dramatically. Come on in. I still do all of the operational side of things because being more efficient in operations mean you have more time to do sales. So there is a benefit in doing that. But the foot in the door, the real sort of thin end of the wedge is that I can help you get more sales and customers. And that was basically a game changer. Once I started doing that, it made it so much easier to get a foot in the door and to be able to make some my own customers. After that, I then started to do a little bit more into the the systems and processes. But as a cloud consultant, one of the things you need to do is you need to partner on a platform. Some platforms are very closed to who they will accept. Some platforms will say, I want you to have 10,000 customers before I'll even look at you. Or you have to be able to bring me $10,000 a month or we're not going to bother talking to you. And I find those a little bit frustrating because it's then kind of chicken and egg. Where do you start? You need customers to get on this platform. You need this platform in order to get customers. And so you just end up getting stuck in this cycle. So in terms of, being a cloud consultant, you need to get in with a foot in the door in a platform. So whatever platform it is that you are trying to get into, you need to be able to start somewhere. So I would recommend you start looking at small business software because they're generally like an up and coming software. I do know some people that are on Go High Level. I started with Zoho, but they had minimal requirements to start as a partner. And they just needed someone to be able to help educate the customer, help implement. And, like for those small business customers, there's not going to be a lot of, big, long projects. You're going to have to help a lot of people over a period of time, but that helps build your sales muscle. So if you're looking to be a cloud consultant, you need to get good at solving problems. And one of the best ways to do that is to find someone or solve a lot of problems and then get really good at it. and then find your niche in the way that you sell and the way that you communicate and the way that you provide information, so that over time you can then start to approach those larger software companies and look to partner on them, because you have the database, you have the customer history. And one great thing about doing cloud consulting is that, for me, I try to build long-term relationships with the clients, because there's always room for growth and change and movement, because no business is a static thing. There's no such thing as a business that kind of does the same thing forever. Look at Kodak. They tried to do the same thing forever. They had photos that you could go and get you could go to the chemist and get give you a little roll of film, and then they would process it, and then you'd pick it up at the end of the day, and you had color film, and that was amazing. But then they themselves invented the digital camera. The digital camera was seen more as a threat, and they said that will never take off. We're making so much money on printing physical film that we do not want to even bother trying to push and sell the digital camera. So, of course, the technology was adopted elsewhere, and the digital camera became ubiquitous. Everybody had one. And then as soon as everybody had a digital camera, no one's using film anymore, because you can only take 26 shots, or if you expose it to the light, you're done. Then you have to go and take it somewhere. Then you have to get it processed. But digital cameras made it so easy to transmit information, to be able to manipulate images and do a whole range of other things. You also didn't have to carry cameras around. Now you got memory cards. Now you can have 100 photos, 1,000 photos, 1,000,000 photos. And so Kodak did not keep up with the technology. They were disrupted. They were knocked off their perch. So all businesses change, and they continue to change. And so cloud consultants will almost always be in work. And I think even with the rise of AI, it just means that there's more things to consult on if you're going to be a consultant. But the problem is there is so much to know, there's so much to learn, and it is almost never ending, to the point where there is now so many products on the market that you need so many more cloud consultants to be able to educate on what businesses need. So like average Joe, like you're going to run a coffee shop or a sporting event or something like that. You're busy doing your core function. You don't have enough brain power to then go and learn all these systems to automate and run your business, but you still need them. So you need to go and find a professional, a cloud consultant, on how to identify what processes I need, what technology could help me automate those processes, how can I use AI? Because I've had conversations with people about AI, and they think it's like this magical widget that's just going to understand what they want and then just magically make it appear. And that is not the case. It needs information. You need to be able to tell it what you want it to do. That's why now there's a whole consulting industry on prompts. There is a whole consulting segment or niche on helping people create prompts for AI. So that in and of itself has proven that the cloud consulting industry is in an extreme growth. And if you're watching this and you need to, you want to become a cloud consultant in anything, then I would highly recommend you just jump in, just pick something, specialize in that, and run with it, because it doesn't matter what you do. The market's always going to change. You're probably going to, move your niche a little bit, but you really do just need to learn and teach. That's pretty much the crux of it. And as soon as you learn it, and as soon as you teach it, if you know something well enough to be able to teach it, then you know something well enough to be able to implement it, to be able to put it to its maximum effectiveness, effective use case. So to be able to get into a cloud consultant, all right, so we talked about having, experience, being in and having like either industry experience or connected relationships. And we talked about how, for my experience was trying to figure out how to automate certain things in my business. And then I almost failed early on, because I went into businesses saying, I can make you more efficient. And then they'd go, whatever, you go somewhere else. We're fine. We've got it sorted. And they kind of felt like I was insulting them, because I was kind of insinuating that they didn't have their business sorted. Whereas when I changed my tack and say, I can help you get more leads and sales using CRM, that kind of got the foot in the door, which then opened up conversations around, now you need better project management systems. Now you need automated follow-up. Now you need better customer service mechanisms, which do make you more efficient, maybe payroll automation. So, you just need that foot in the door and you need that expertise. And along the way, I've found massive value in creating video. And in fact, next week, I'm going to do a live stream. We're going to talk about using video in business to get more sales. So if you're watching the live stream and you want to tune in next week, I'm doing this every Friday. And next week at Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Brisbane time, I will be running a live stream and we'll be talking about how to use video in business to maximize your impact and your sales effectiveness. Okay. So, and I then got into, after talking about those other things, I then got into talking about how, no business is ever static. Rolling stone gathers no moss. Something that is constantly changing is the business ecosystem. Everyone's trying to disrupt each other. There's always new people coming into the market. There's always new challenges to solve. There's always new technologies available. So you basically will never be short of work, and you almost need to spend 20% of your or 30% of your time learning new technologies so that you can start to or stay on top of what's happening, but also have enough understanding of the things around you to be able to use that to best effect, to be able to consult, to say, all right, well, this technology solves this problem, but there's a gap here that can't solve. But I've got experience in this other thing over here, which can solve that issue. And then overall, your business is going to end up 10 times better. So that's where I think you need a breadth of skills and you need the time to learn. And everybody knows you don't know where to start. You can't just start with a ton of experience, just start somewhere. So if you're watching this, this has been the Business Octopus live stream. Now, I do have an online community called the Relevate community, and you'll see our little octopus in the corner, which is sort of our little mascot. But the idea is that we want to give our business a brain and teach it to grow itself. And we do that with systems, and we do that with technologies that help us to automate certain things. You want to use each tentacle as grabbing data from your laptop, your phone, your salesperson's head, your emails, and it's just sucking information back into the brain, which is your systems. And then that allows you to not be the center of your business all the time. So if you want to learn these digital skills, whether or not you're looking to be a cloud consultant, whether you're looking to work with a cloud consultant, or whether you're looking just to learn some stuff for yourself to implement into your own business, there is tons of information in the online community, and we have a ton of partners and people who are all constantly asking questions. Every question is an opportunity to create content to assist with answering more questions and creating more valuable database or a knowledge base of experience at the end of the day. So we're coming to an end. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions or comments that you'd like me to answer, please drop them in the comments section or DM me, and I'll attempt to answer them next time. But otherwise, please stay tuned. Come along next week at Friday, 8:30 a.m., talking about how to use video to sell in your business. Looking forward to seeing you there.